Hey, so this is our Temple of Yes class. So these classes are constantly evolving, and this one has a little different flavor than the one I taught about a week ago. Questions I'd love to address in this will be what's holding you back? What's keeping you from feeling happy? Why does it feel like your dream life is just out of reach? So there's so much more to what lies beyond, as far as not like after death, but just what lies beyond this moment, what lies beyond our current belief system. Because a lot of our belief system is based on blood, sweat, and tears, having to work really hard for it. This is a challenge instead of this can be fun, this can be easy, this can be light. A lot of our decisions are made out of fear or pain or feelings of lack, and there aren't a lot of decisions made out of joy or pleasure or inspiration. So a lot of those answers are deep within our bodies, but we usually shut off from the pleasure and from the pain. So in order to avoid discomfort, we may start avoiding. To do that, it requires a lot of sensory shutdown as well. And so ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you have been shut off from the pain in your life, but you've also been shut off as a result from the pleasure? And this may take a little introspection to really suss out, but let yourself sit with that question. Have you missed out on pleasure by also shutting off your pain receptors too, from also shutting off from what's going on beneath all of this tactileness? Have you been hiding deep within? For those who have been in my Long Polysecure book club, this would be more of the detached as well. There are moments where we completely shut down, kind of pull away, and that can be an example of how that might play out. So this just is going to be a gentle introduction to using touch, breath, and intention. Touch, breath, intention to just learn how to open up to a feeling, and through that feeling, learn to connect, heal, and choose a life of yes. So that is what our goal is today. So if you've never done this work, that's fine. It's totally cool. And if you have been through other classes with me, you'll see sprinklings of other things that I've learned. This is Mark. Hi, Mark. Mark's helping me out today by just being, literally just being. Okay, so hi, my name is Bryn. And although this is a Temple of Yes class, I am not always in a yes state. It is a concept that came to me a while ago. I was actually kind of inspired by Adrienne Maree Brown and her book, Pleasure Activism. And just this concept that a lot of us are, fighting the good fight, whatever we think it is that we, whatever we believe in, but we are usually doing it from a state of lack. Like you are tired, exhausted, worn out, but you're fighting the good fight, right? It's for a good purpose. And this may win a battle, but it doesn't really win a war, right? And as you can see, if you pay attention to veterans, a lot of them come back without support and with wounds that are deep. And a lot of people who are in traumatizing situations that are for a long time, that is chronic stress. It goes deeper. You don't get a chance to really recover from it. So cool, great. We can have our moments where we really push through, but it doesn't really work for the long term. So this idea, one of the ideas of pleasure activism is what I pulled from it, is that you can learn to bring in, yes, you can learn to bring in pleasure, you can learn to bring in joy, and those things actually sustain you. They refill you, and they keep you passionate and inspired about the things that you choose to believe in and fight for in your life. Do any of you have something that you believe in and you're fighting for in your life? This might be a really good opportunity to take that notebook or notepad and write it down. Like, what is 1 to 3 things that you're super passionate about? But things that you think you're passionate about, whatever it is. Some people, they might choose environmental justice, or climate change. Some people might choose cultural preserving, right? Something about your culture you want to preserve. Some people may have gender rights LGBTQ. And these are really big things. You can also choose smaller things. Like, it doesn't really matter the size, it just matters, do these things drive you? Have they occupied your mind? And we'll use those as little anchors. So obviously one of mine is this. Things that drive me are demystification of sexuality. For me, I didn't really understand what a friend told me a long time ago when she said that basically addressing sex and pleasure would save the world. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand. It was Gabriela Cordova. She ran Sex Positive World, and it's really stuck with me. And it's really taken me a while to figure out what she meant. And after years and years, I'm beginning to see how all of these people in power and all these people who are struggling, or living these sometimes double lives, because I work a lot with kink, are at the root of their being subdued or oppressed. Doesn't matter if they have like a multi-million company or $1 million company, or they're doing something, you know, like they're clerk at an office. In the heart of it, if there is shame, it is like a poison that reaches into our society. So where I think Brene Brown says something the likes of, where empathy exists, shame cannot. And this does tie in with pleasure, because a lot of the things that we do seem to be ashamed about are pleasure-based. Is there something that you were taught as a child, especially, that was wrong, that was shameful to share, to talk about, to be open about? That's also something you might want to write down. What is this thing that might be a little sore point for you in your life? These are the keys to unlocking a sense of personal growth and freedom, the lightness that you can take into your life. Now you'll notice that unlike people who just talk the whole time, even though I've got people on mute, they're taking notes, and people who might show up and they're at the office, and there's people here, obviously, like one of you watching this later, if I choose to upload this. I'm going to create pauses for you to think. I want you to take those pauses. They might not be too long, but I want you to take those pauses. And when I am pausing, I want you to also feel. And that's where we can start talking about the temple of yes. So let's start with our feeling body, the outside. And that's just the tactile. You kind of feel, you know, this is in the fingertips, right? This is your body, this outside. So if you're feeling right now that any part of you is tight or needs to fidget or is uncomfortable, that's something to pay attention to. All of it is feedback. It's not positive, it's not negative, it's just feedback. So allow yourself to start to just move. If you're in a seated position, there's a likelihood that you might be a little bit stagnant, especially if you've been sitting all day. So I'm going to invite you to just sort of move. What's very helpful are circles in the body. And just move however you want. I want you to notice what your go-to is. And I have a little bit of like allergies, so I'm going to be sniffling a little during this. It'll look like I'm crying. And so for me, what I'm doing is I'm moving also to find where the tension is. And I love this right now. I can't see what Sam's doing, but Peter and Mark are doing completely different things from me, which is awesome. That is a metaphor for you can do different things via the same directions. You can experience and explore things. When someone asks you to move, it feels good. Everything is different. The more that you can act in your own unique way, the clearer your path will be. Okay, now as you move, I want you to focus on how you're breathing and see if you're searching for the tightnesses, and just kind of gently move into it. A lot of mine's in my like upper right shoulder, back, spine. Sleeping weird on it. And I also want you to notice what pace you decided to move at. And if it is a fast pace, I want you to slow it down, because it's not calisthenics and it's not working out. I want you to invite yourself to move a little bit like a sinuous snake or a serpent. And in doing this, you start to bring energy through the body. And there's a lot of stuff usually caught up in our chest, so I want you to inhale up if you haven't already, arms. And start to circle in the upper back and shoulders. As you breathe, breathe deep into the belly and exhale slow. And for those of you just joining, we are just moving out the tension in our body. We're asking ourselves, where is the tension right now? Since if we want to ask our body things and figure it out, well, we kind of have to be in touch with our body. All right, if there's any tension in your lower back or hips, I want you to circle, move into it. There's also these spaces, your rib cage right here, intercostal muscles. So if you can reach and stretch just a little, each of these muscles will open up and improve your capacity for breath. Now take it a deep step deeper, one more step deeper. As you stretch, as you breathe, I want you to see if you can do this gently and kindly. How sensual can you be with your movements? As if there's no destination, as if there's really no number to how many you're doing, because there's not. I'm not keeping track, and you shouldn't either. You can even bring the arms forward, the head around. Now, another technique for getting rid of tension and releasing is actually tensing. It's allowing your body to put that tension into energy and use it. So just like you would make a fist and clench it, right? You can feel the muscles clenching, moving in high tension. So there's slight subtle movement when you clench, right? I want you to do that with all of your muscles, right? So we'll start with our fingers, so you can see with my hands. Inhale, tension through the forearms, shoulders, fists, inhale, and then exhale, release. You can kind of move it out. And that is your example. I want us actually to start with our toes though. So inhale, I want you to kind of tense the feet and the legs up to the hips. And then exhale, release. Okay. Then I want you to inhale from your like lower back, belly, torso. Exhale, release. Upper back, shoulders and forearms and hands. Exhale, release. And then you're going to get into the head and neck, and even jaw if you feel like there's been jaw tension. So shoulders, neck, head, and jaw. You can kind of move side to side. And we'll do that one again since we hold a lot of tension there. So tension on your left. Exhale, release. Right. Release, front of neck. Back of neck. Good. Now we're going to do 3 times intentionally. I want you to think about a roll of energy moving up from your toes to your head. We're going to do a lot of these rolling energy things today. So really kind of get used to that concept. So from our toes up to our head, we're going to inhale and tense up the whole body, energizing it. Okay, so inhale, toes, legs, buttocks, hips, belly, chest, fists, forearms, shoulders, neck, and head. Sip in air. Exhale, head, shoulders, arms, back, torso, legs, feet. Inhale again, toes all the way to head. Exhale, relax. Head down the toes. One more inhale, toes to head. Exhale, head to toes. All right. Close your eyes if you're somewhere where you can. If not, just relax the eyes a little. I want you to focus on just the breath now. If you can, breathe through your nose. If not, breathe through your mouth. It's congested. Breathe through your mouth. All right, we'll breathe in through the nose. And I want you to just count to 4. All right, we'll do some time breathing, box breathing. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. There's just a few of these at your own pace. I want you to just watch the breath. Okay, keep breathing. Let's bring another element here. As you breathe, imagine a ball of light. It can be golden or it can be white. It can be whatever color feels happy and energizing to you. From the base of your spine, as you breathe in, it comes up to the head, hold, and then exhale, you bring the ball of light down the spine to the pelvis. Inhale up to the head, hold, exhale down the spine. Inhale up. Exhale down the spine. Inhale up. See how present you can get with this breath. It may seem super simple, but it's a challenge for people to stay present. In that stillness, just allow yourself to be. If you're still struggling with the stillness, that's fine. There might be a lot going on inside you and it wants to be acknowledged. So that just means keep with that breath. Keep it slow, keep it steady. I want to invite you that at any point in time during this class, if you feel compelled to write anything down, something that crosses your mind, you can. And if you are also looking for some sort of deeper answer here today, write the question down and then just let go. And if it comes to you, if a thought comes to you, write those thoughts down. Okay, so one of the keys to sensuality is being present. And that means softening our approach to our breath and our own touch. A lot of us wait for other people to touch us in a way that feels loving, and that often comes from a space of lack. Instead of coming with a full cup, we come empty and we hungrily and eagerly and sometimes greedily take from others, because we forget that there is a plethora of available healing in our own hands. So I want you, whenever you're feeling a little anxious or distracted, to bring yourself back to the ball lifting up and down, and also to the breath in the spine. I want you to take your right hand, and this is probably mirrored for you guys. So this is my right. Just remember, my right has the tattoo on it, okay? The serpent tattoo, and the Sri Yantra. And I want you to take it on your left fingertips, your fingers to fingers. And I just want you to really slowly draw it across your skin. Kind of so you're seeking for that little gentle tingling. And I'm bringing it, I'm really taking my time, bringing it up to my shoulder. And so the left hand is generally the receiving hand. It's also associated with feminine energy. We have both feminine and masculine in us. When you get to your collarbone, you can gently enjoy drawing it across. And you might notice, some of you might like the tips of your fingers, the soft pads, the nails, or the flat. And I want you to explore which one has this slightly gently electrifying sensation. You know, it's just like a little tingling, loving. And if you feel like you're not feeling it, go slow, go lighter. And when you get all the way to your right shoulder, you can draw it up the neck, to the ear, and across the temples, over the crown, down the other side of the face. And I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you've taken this time, this pace with yourself? When's the last time you took this with someone else? This patience. As you draw it to the other side, if you're watching, you'll notice I'm bringing it down to my heart. Bring the fingers to the sternum, to the belly. And then if you're off camera, you just might as well bring it down to root chakra. Not the intention to be sexual, but to root yourself here. Okay. And then we're going to draw that energy from the left side over to the right. So we're going to bring the left hand to where you left off on the right. So we're kind of doing a switch. We're bringing it up in the belly button, sternum. Are you breathing? Keep the breath. Up to the head and down to the belly. We're doing the breath. Go across, just the opposite pattern. Oops. I think I already kind of confused this, but it's okay. It's not an exact science. And down. Back to the heart. We're going to bring it over. And we're going to bring our left hand towards our right hand. And pay attention to what you like. You can kind of bring the palms open. And come back to the breath. If you want to feel like you keep that energy a little bit in you, contained, bring the hands to the heart. And pay attention. Do a body scan, see where the tension is right now. See if there's less tension. Ask yourself what part of your body wants to move. And if it doesn't, awesome. There is a phrase that I really like, a quote from Pleasure Activism, from one of the stories in there, one of the people, and it's, if it pleases me, I will. And so for all of my suggestions, I want you to take that mentality. If it pleases me, I will. Because these are all suggestions. And those are going to be your guiding factors. Let's go ahead and do the same thing from the right to the left. If you're very analytical, you might be wondering, like, where's all the details? Where's the science? I want you to really slow down and just bring yourself present. It's in the being. We're doing experiential things. So your right hand is generally considered your right, it's the masculine side. The left is more of the feminine. And they have the names Ida and Pingala. They've got yin and yang, sun, moon, whatever. Those are all just words for, in general, we assume that the left is a receiving side and the right is the giving side. But we want to make sure that we're bringing energy through them both as well. So let's do, run the fingers across, This time play with what your right arm wants. It may not want the same thing. For example, I immediately am like, I want this faster. That makes sense. I want you to draw it across your collarbone when you get to your shoulder. And then I want you to intentionally slow down on your left side. Across the head. And down to the heart. And then take both hands and dive down. And then you're going to place your hands on, if you're feminine bodied, let's just say if you have ovaries, put them over your ovaries. If you have testicles or a penis, you're welcome to kind of like reach lower. I want you to just kind of have heat going towards your reproductive organs, whatever that means for you. So it should feel comforting. That's the goal. Now notice where your energy is. Is it faster? Is it slower? Pay attention to what's coming up. So there also can be exciting things too. So we did a lot of calming breaths. We're going to do some exciting breaths. And so they're going to look really silly. And that is okay. I'm going to look silly in front of you publicly. And so I just want you to hyper oxygenate your body and your brain. So let's start with breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So we're starting to go faster with our breaths. Now in and out through the mouth. And a little bit faster. See if you do 40, even if you lose track. Breathe in and exhale, hold it out. And then don't breathe in. It may seem like you can't do this, but do it every time you think that you can't hold this breath empty. Count to 5 more. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. And notice if anything is different in your body. Relax the body, the arms, the hips, the shoulders, anything that's tight. I want you to just sit in that feeling for a bit. So I want this to be experiential and also learning. So when you hyperoxygenate things, it can really enhance, I know, using the S word, sex, but it can enhance everything. It can wake up the brain. It can enrich the blood. It can feel connected. It can light up the spine. And so that was just a baby step into that. If you went much deeper, it would be really, really powerful. So let's talk about pleasure. So at the beginning of this, I asked some of you to think about these questions, and I don't know if they're still in the chat, so I'm going to repost them. And if you would be so kind, answer those questions. The 2 questions were, what does yes mean to you? And what does pleasure mean to you? And if you're having trouble with that question, I want you to just simplify it. What comes up when I say yes? What does it feel like to say yes in your body? Is it hard to say yes? What associations do you have with yes? You don't have a chat because you're in this thing, so you have to just speak if you really want to say something.
I see yes as an affirmation of alignment.
I like that. That's good. Save that. Affirmation of alignment. I think of yes as permission. It can be permission for myself or permission for others. Ooh, Sam said that's literally what he was going to say. Yeah. Yes. So the affirmation thing. Yes. Sam agrees with you. I think of it as permission to openness. I like that. That openness. For those who are, if I do ever post this, people are in a chat, and that's why I'm pausing and reading it. So if you don't know what's going on, it's because I'm reading imaginary or invisible words that you will never see. Openness, affirmation. Yeah. We've got two other people in here. I totally invite you to tell me what you think yes means. And this is what you think it means, so which is pretty powerful, but also there's what it feels like. So yes can be alignment for me. And yes can be, to me, it's just really exciting to be on the precipice of doing something that I get to do, that I give myself the opportunity to do, which is kind of where I'm at. It's this space where there's been a lot of, in our society, no's. For every person, it doesn't matter what your cultural background is, or your gender, or your sexual orientation, there's been a no. And in that no has been a lot of probably either shame or repression, or, hey, look, there's Chris. I didn't know which Chris this was. And yeah, and so that's for me, is the permission is actually huge. Just giving myself permission to live authentically and express myself. Now, when you say yes, and you all are on mute, except for you and me, when you say yes, where does it feel? Like, where do you feel it in your body? And is there tension? Is it free? Is it easy? Say yes. Just say yes. 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 For me, I still feel like there are some tensions right in my throat. What about you? Where do you feel it? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. Sometimes in my lower belly.
In your lower belly. Okay. And so there are all these little keys to where are we holding tension, or where does it feel flow? And you want to ask yourself, what is out of alignment there? My biggest thing I want you to take away is that there are times in your life where you have said yes but meant no. Yeah. And there are times in your life when you have said no, but you so deeply wanted to say yes. Feeling yes in your chest and your heart, that feels really good. That feels like that's a good sensation for you, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and I'm going to get feedback from people who have been muted, because if I do post this, then I also want anybody to know I like to incorporate group stuff, but if you didn't show up, you miss on that. So think about what it feels like in your body, where it is, and I want you to write down in time that you felt like you said yes when you meant no, or no when you meant yes, and those are those misalignments we get to work on. Okay, so we continue the recording here. Set a pause. It's going to look like nothing for anybody who's watching this. What came up was the concept of wanting to want is one of the things that kind of stuck with me. For wanting to want is, I want to desire this thing. It might be, I want to desire this person, because man, they're just they're such a good guy. I do actually really desire this person. Maybe I'll put this person over here, this imaginary person. They're such a good guy. My parents like them. You know, they've got a good job. They're smart. They don't treat me badly. Blah blah blah. Whatever. They're like on paper a good guy. I really want to want this person. And you might even marry that person. You know, some of us have, and then realize this wasn't really a yes. This was yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess I think this is what it's supposed to feel like, right? And maybe this has got to be marriage, and this has got to be love. Or maybe you're just like, this is how you feel about sex, right? You feel like, I really want to do this thing, or like that this thing that my boyfriend or girlfriend or they friend really likes. And I don't actually enjoy butt stuff. I don't actually enjoy, an hour of meditation before we start having sex. I don't actually really enjoy kissing. I've got partners who don't like kissing. So it's really about anchoring into what you actually desire and feeling the power, the empowerment to be self-expressed. I would ask yourself, if you're finding yourself in situations, whether they're personal or their career, where you are really, I really want to, I want to like this guy, this gal, this them. I want to like this job. I want to like this situation because it looks good on paper. Ask yourself if this falls into the identity that you are hoping to be. I really want to be the type of person that is freaky in bed, but I just, I'm not. I really want to be the type of person who is working this type of job. Like, it's such a great thing. And it seems like it's what I want to do when I was little. But it's really misaligning when we set ourselves up to fail, because eventually we lose our passion, our interests, our inspiration, our connection. How would you feel if you were inspired? If you were passionate? And if in all aspects of your life you could say yes. And yes, I am moving away from the sensual, the sexual, the intimate. But as I was saying on our break, they're all connected. If they weren't, I wouldn't get clients who come to me and they think we're going to talk about sex, but we actually talk about their life and everything else, because they're all really connected. And if you have an imbalance in one area of your life, it's going to affect the other ones, because they are all connected. It's this practice of saying yes. So, and we're also worried when we get back to sex, we're worried about the fear of losing spontaneity. That was also brought up. So that may happen, but there are moments where we don't take pause. And in those moments, they can become careless or thoughtless. Little slip-ups happen. You can have loss of consent. You can have an injury that goes deeper than you thought it would when the check-in doesn't happen. And so I encourage you to create this for yourself, to slip into the mentality of it is okay to pause. To pause does not mean to end. Just like I paused this recording, didn't mean it ended. So how do we check in and figure out in this moment when somebody says, you're hot and bothered and the clothes are coming off, it's getting steamy in here. And he's like, what do you want to say to me? What is it? Just make up something. It doesn't matter. Make up something.
I gotta go do this thing.
Wait, what? That's what you're
Right.
making up? That's not what you're making up. I'm hot and bothered and naked, and we're about to do something. And you're going to ask me to do something.
Okay.
This is improv.
All right.
Do you want to do butt stuff? How about this? Fine. Baby. Oh, God, I'm so hot. God, I want to peg you. And then the wheels start turning. And maybe his eyes get a little bit dilated. And he's just like, oh, my God, this girl's so hot. And I really want to please her. But I don't know if I can take that. How big is that dildo? And for those of you who don't know, I write for a sex toy company. And so, yes, I really do talk like this a lot. And usually it's comically. But what in the world? It's okay to pause here. Let's just take a moment. It might not be something as extreme as that. And just, how do you respond to that?
So let's pause and talk about what we're actually getting into and what we need to prepare for.
How do we pause for this in an essential way? So ask me.
Okay. We stay connected.
Stay connected, yeah. So stay connected. So physical touch is really helpful if you're doing this with a partner. If you're not with a partner and you're just trying to make a big life decision, physical touch is really important. it's touch to yourself. So where are you feeling your yes? Where are you feeling your drop from your yes? Right? Let's take a breath. Okay. And what is some scary shit in your life right now? Oh, this just became not PG. What is scary in your life? There might be something in your life that you might feel like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to give an answer. I'm getting a little tense. The tension is a sign you need to pause and slow down. The tension is a sign that fight or flight is kicking in. You know, fight, flight, or freeze actually is kicking in. And in that moment, it still can be spontaneous. You're always in, if you're present, you're always in the moment, right? That's the spontaneity of it. If you're present, you're always in the moment, default. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it. My dog is like just destroying a squeaky toy in the background. So what you do is you allow yourself to do that breathing, that inhale. And like a ball, when you're having these moments where you don't know what you need to give as an answer, it's because you're in your head. So let's bring this head energy down to our hearts and our belly. So if you want to just imagine like a big blue circular orb or something, some consciousness visualization, take a deep breath in and then exhale. I want you to just slowly let it drop down. And this orb can scan things for you, can give you information. And what it's doing is it's bringing this focus on the brain down, down, down to the throat, down, down, down. And if you feel tension in the throat, you might feel like you're not expressing yourself. That's a really big sign that there's something that you might need to say or speak through. Okay, there's tension here. Go down, down, down. Shoulders, feels like you might feel pressure to do something, feel the responsibility or the burden. Down, down, down to the heart. And focus on the heart. And ask yourself, first, ask your heart, what does a yes feel like? Does it feel warm? Does it feel tingly? What sign can your body give you that it's a yes? Slow breaths here. You can do something specific, or you can just really ask for some language for your body. What does a yes feel like? Relax the shoulders if you can. Some of us may feel better to have one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. So if you're left hand belly, right hand heart is usually what I do. And then once you feel kind of calm and settled, I want you to explore different options. So let's do some, I feel like pegging feels like maybe a really high risk thing for someone who's never, if you haven't done a lot of like play. If you don't know what pegging is, God help you for coming to this channel. Is there anything more PG? No, my channel is just not PG. If I ever post this, it's not PG at all. So let's just do something simple. Are you ready to have sex with this person? Are you ready to be intimate? Are you ready to be that close? A lot of us don't slow down and even ask that question, because whether you want to admit it or not, it's very intimate. I was very thoughtless and careless about it as a teen and most of my 20s, but it is really intimate. And so even with this person who I freaking adore right now, am I in the space to like have sex with this person? And also might be the language. Like, do I want to have sex with this person right now? Not on camera, not right now. Do I want to have sex with this person? And it really should just be right now. Do I want to make love with this person? Do I want to be held by this person? Okay, so I felt a shift when I said, do I want to be held? When you're with somebody, I want you to give yourself the opportunity to play with different things and see how they feel. And then go back. It's kind of like Where is the charge coming from? Do you have any things that you want to play with? Questions you want to see? How does your body respond to it? Do you get a little excitement? Or do you get anxious? Do you get tight? Do you feel relaxed? Can you not help yourself from smiling? A good indicator is that you can't help yourself from smiling. If you just ask yourself a question and the lips curl up, you're like, yes. Do I want pizza? No. But some of you might have been, yes, I do want pizza. That sounds amazing right now. Do you want fried chicken? No. It doesn't have to be about sex. The sex is the high risk option here, but the truth is, it is everywhere in your life. From what you eat, to what you do, to who you talk to how someone touches you. This person has been with me for a while, and if I always default to we get to do everything we've already done, then I'm actually not really checking in with myself, am I? You guys are still welcome to put whatever you like in the chat. So I want you to practice this right now. Do this. What's something you want to know? Right? Like, let's just something really, okay, some of you do something really basic, something really easy. Something you know you don't like and something you know you do like, right? And I want you to ask yourself the yes question. Do I want this? Do I want, I really don't like dairy ice cream anymore. It always makes me feel messed up. I really like cashew and coconut ice cream. So this is a really easy answer for me. Do I want some really like sugary dairy ice cream right now? And I feel like my face is like cringing, and I feel pretty much no excitement here. I don't have flutters in my belly, my belly, nothing is responding here. And I know it's not an exciting answer. I could talk about sex for days, but we got to start somewhere. So I do want, okay, totally some like kachori, which is like really nourishing and not sugary and not dairy. And so that's where you start. But how about something that's bigger? Do any of you have any big things that you're questioning? Do you have this exciting thing in your life that you're questioning? But it brings all this stuff up. When you think about something big in your life, don't you wish you had the capability to check in and say, is this a yes? Someone recently asked me to perform at a festival, but it contradicts with me being able to be in Oregon when I want to check out this land. When I think about, when I feel, actually, let's change the verbiage here. When I feel about, instead of think about, being in this open, expansive green, when I feel about, see, I gotta catch myself, when I feel about being around this potential opportunity for a wonderful home, I feel warmth, I feel expansive, I feel openness in my back rather than tension, I feel at ease. I want this in a very calm way, not in like a hungry, ravenous way, just in this really subtle, it feels good to me. Sometimes it's subtle. When I think about performing at this place and having to find a way back to like the nearest airport and then drive for hours just to do a gig with somebody that I'm not actually actively developing a musical relationship with, I'm like, I feel tightness in my stomach, tightness in my jaw. There's tension that starts to evolve, and like a little, like, you know what it feels like? It feels a little bit like that adrenaline. It's just a little bit of like, little like spiciness in the heart. It's this anxiousness, because I'm like, those are a lot of steps. It doesn't sound fun to me. That doesn't sound like, as much as I like, and that's where the confusion is, because I love performing and I love music, but I don't like the mechanism or the method towards getting it there. I can perform anywhere. Let me shift that for you. I really love this. I love this person, right? Just like I love performing. But I don't love the mechanism of, let's say, always like maybe this morning, I don't know, this is not a real example, but if I didn't love the idea of having sex with them this morning, it wouldn't feel good to do it. And I wouldn't feel good after, and I would feel depleted. I would feel misaligned. That to me didn't feel like a yes. So instead there was cuddles and emotion and taking a bath together. That felt whole and nurturing. And the more I say yes, the more I create really beautiful situations for myself. I didn't feel a yes in my job, but when I talk about, my favorite thing, people get inspired. My favorite thing is sexuality, one of my favorite things, and demystifying it. And that excitement evoked excitement in others, and I get paid to do that now. And a good amount of money. Like I'm good, I'm comfy. When you say yes, you start saying yes, and you start realizing this yes isn't necessarily this spike of adrenaline like when you jump out of a plane. It isn't seeking for these like shocking moments. It is a warmth. It is a sense of ease. It is a sense of flow. It's not shock and awe. It's beautiful. That can also be where your sensual yes is. I'm going to go ahead and pause. I want you guys to think about that. Okay. All right. So we just had another pause, and some of the beautiful things and the feedback that led to this moment included having faith in your yes. It takes practice. So, this is it's a body practice. You want to like feel into it. If you have a moment with a partner that you're like, I'm not sure about something because maybe you've given in a lot. Those are really beautiful moments to explore. It's an opportunity to grow and to learn with that person too. Let them know I've said yes to a lot of things I didn't mean yes. And I've also, or you can say I've said no to a lot of things I actually want, and it's hard for me to say yes. So those are two different ways to approach. I've said, if it's somebody where you're like, I've said no to a lot of things and I still feel like no might be the right answer, but I'm not sure if that's what I really want. Now, that's where you get this opportunity to just have a conversation about the conditioning there. Who taught you and what was your earliest memory of this no, this thing being bad, shameful, maybe it's emasculating, maybe it's gay, whatever the story you told yourself or someone told you about it. Beautiful opportunities to grow. And it also really helps you understand where your relationship is at with that person, because really quickly you're going to realize if there's somebody that you can have these conversations with or not. And if they aren't, you get to understand if that's something you want. And so maybe if they can't be that person that you want them to be, you get to ask them what's coming up for them, because maybe they're having their own reaction. And if they aren't willing to work through their things, you get to choose somebody else, close personal friend, therapist, coach, whatever, to just talk about, hey, where did you learn to say no to so many things? Where did you learn that this was wrong or bad or shameful or emasculating or gay or whatever it was? Where did you learn this? And then you can look at it like, okay, this X does not equal Y. That stuff does not mean I am gay, for example. And it doesn't, by the way, it's a fact. Your prostate is, men's prostate is located in your anus, and it's Uranus, not Uranus, and yours, whatever. And A spots are located in females' butts. Anywho, you can have that conversation, right? You can also allow yourself to have conversations about, why have I said no to like going to a drag show? Why have I said no to going to the circus? Why have I said no to yoga? Did I think it was like for stiff people? I really kind of want to try it. I want to be flexible. Why have I said no to dancing? Why have I said no? Just explore that. And so that'll bring you to your yes. Now, if you're somebody who've said yes, but it's been like an abused, manipulated tool, then you can also talk about, hey, I've said yes to a lot of things in my life that I didn't mean yes. But for me, it felt safer to say yes than say no. Because when I said no, they pushed me anyway. So it felt safer to not fight. That's an example that a lot of women have, and some men as well. And that is an extreme consent violation and boundary, and you want to be patient. You can also say, I have said yes to a lot of things I've meant no to, and I really want to figure out, I want to feel what it's like to say yes and mean yes. Can we take it slow? Can I have moments to check in? Will you help support me in that way? And that's another, yes, and that's another way to check in. And so if you're like with talking to an employer and they give you an option, my employer keeps trying to give you more hours all the time. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, more hours, you want to get paid more, to make more money. And I'm just like, I don't think it doesn't feel good. I don't, it feels like this is good right now. Check in with me again. Or, let me think about it. I'm going to check to make sure that that's really what's best and that that's what I can give. It's okay to see these things. So with that, I want to go into this is feeling, not logic. So let's go back into some feeling. Yes is a feeling. It is not logic. You cannot think through it. It is located in your body. You want to feel and navigate from the heart and the belly and the body. Because when people ask you why you say no or yes, that is a logical explanation. You don't owe them that. The answer is because I said so. If that's too sassy for you, it's just, that's how I feel about it. That's what I said. I don't owe you an explanation. That's, to me, it's a yes for me. To me, it's a no right now. You can ask me later, but it's a no right now. Because if you've ever talked to a salesperson, they're going to find ways around it. So please give yourself permission to say, this is me. I checked in. This is how I feel about that. Let's go ahead and end this with a breathing technique. We already did energy up and down the spine. So if you're driving, don't close your eyes, but you can do this with your eyes open, okay? But if you're home, feel your eyes closed. It's easier. It looks so dark and mysterious. Okay. So ideally you do have an unimpinged spine. So that doesn't mean slouched, it means up. I want you to do a tense and release so we can release any tension in the spine. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale up the spine. And exhale, release down the spine. And this time really focus tension bit by bit, like you're building up. So inhale, tailbone, lower back, mid back, upper back, shoulders, neck, head. Exhale, neck, head, upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. Inhale, tension, tailbone, low back, mid back, shoulders, head, neck, spine. Exhale, head, neck, shoulders, mid back, low back, tailbone. Inhale, tailbone, low back, mid back, shoulders, head, neck, spine. Exhale, head, neck, shoulders, mid back, low back, tail. One more. Inhale, tailbone, all the way up. And exhale. And I want you to bring the energy up. And so feel like there's a fire, and as you breathe, you're stoking the fire. And the fire is located in your reproductive organs. So low down root chakra. Inhale. And this time, as you exhale, don't let go. I want you to focus on building. All right, so we inhale, build the fire. A little bit of tension. Exhale, relax the breath and the tension, but not the fire. Okay, we're building it up from the belly. And down. You want to pull it up from the tailbone and the belly a little bit higher. And wider. Inhale, tension up. And maybe to the breast or the chest yet. Inhale. When you're ready, you inhale, you're pulling it. It just keeps getting higher, like a fire building. And the important thing is to not go too fast, because then your reaction won't match your imagination. Inhale. And I like to kind of undulate the spine, so I'm curving forward and exhaling back. Kind of like you're riding that fire. If you can get it up higher to the shoulders, inhale to the neck. And now I want you to feel like it's reached up to the neck and the fire sort of cascading down to the arms. I want to get it into the rest of the body too. And this fire is burning away that tension. It is lighting up the body. It is spreading that energy. Inhale, double inhale to the head, arms. Exhale, inhale. 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 And let's do some really exciting breaths again. So we're going to breathe in and out, and then breathe in and out through the mouth. Blow the breath out. Focus on. And suck it in. Just faster. Breathe in, exhale out. Hold it empty. Don't breathe in. Count to 5 more when you think you want to give up. Inhale. Sip in more air and hold it. Focus on the energy in your pelvis and kind of let it expand, grow. And then bring your attention to your forehead, spiritual eye, if you know what ajna is. And if you're feeling tension still, tap the back of your neck and the top of your head. And you can exhale. And it can help to tap here and tap your crown, just gently to bring that attention there. The Medulla Oblongata, it's located at the base of your skull, right on the neck, gentle, not hard. And you can bring your hands, not to touch your face, but over your face. Feel the heat of your palms. And then just without touching, draw them across your face and out. Maybe over wherever. Enjoy the feeling of that energy coming off. And then over the head without touching. And then if it feels good, touch your scalp and bring the hands down, petting, stroking down to the heart. And just thank your body. Thank you, body, for showing me love. Thank you, body, for being love. Thank you, body, for expressing trust and desire. Thank you for speaking to me with tension, with excitement, with different feelings. So thank your body for expressing itself. So this is part of you making peace with the fact you probably silenced it a few dozen times. And then bring your hands to your belly. Thank you for allowing me to know myself. Thank you for guiding through knowing myself. Thank you for being centered and calm and stable for my heart. And you can bring it down to reproductive organs, wherever it really feels comfortable. You can also set the consciousness there. Thank you for creativity and desire and passion. And come back to that ball of light, from the tailbone up, breathing into the top of the head. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And keep your focus on your spiritual eye. Right, middle of your forehead, not too high, just above the eyebrows. And this is the controversial thought of the day for some of you, but from your root chakra to your crown, everything is divine. Everything is connected, and your desires are spiritual as well. That's part of your karma, it's part of you being here. This is the holistic experience. And so I'll tell you that when you're inhaling and moving the energy up the spine and down, if you do this alone, it's beautiful. If you do it with a partner at the same time, it's very connected. And that's another class I'll do next, is how to do this with somebody else. And that's what I'm going to leave you with, because that was a lot. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.